Good morning. How is everyone? I hope you're all well and welcome back to the project. A little bit of a different video today, so I bought myself a little camera and I'm going to start vlogging some bits from home. The idea of this next few episodes of the series is to give you guys a behind the scenes insight into my daily routine, into what I'm doing with my nutrition, into how I'm recovering from training and how I'm dealing with the whole process behind the scenes there as well. So if you've enjoyed the series so far, make sure to subscribe. We've got a lot of fun content coming and let's crack on with the rest of the video. Alexa, desk light on. So what you've seen so far is a very simple morning routine. I'll wake up at the moment anywhere between 6:30 and 7. I will then brush my teeth, take my morning weigh-in, take some progress pictures, which is once or twice a week at the moment. I'll then get dressed, come downstairs, neck a load of water, and then take some of this guy. I know there's going to be a lot of questions around Yohimbine use, so stick around till later in the video and I'm going to cover it there. But for now, let's carry on with the morning routine. So the next thing I tend to do in my mornings is pick this book up and read a page. It's The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday, and if you haven't heard of it, I would highly recommend picking up a copy. It's essentially a page a day, and each day gives you a citing from a philosopher and then Ryan Holiday's kind of modern day breakdown of that. So I could go so far as to say this has been pretty life-changing. Like starting each day with this sort of like reflection and insight is really cool. So yeah, that is the next part of my routine. Definitely recommend. So that is book read, and the next thing in the routine is a morning walk. So one of the main reasons why I get out on this morning walk now is just to get a load of steps done. So I have 15,000 to do per day at the moment, which means that if I don't get out on this morning walk, I've got so many to catch up on. So by going out 20-30 minutes in the morning, I can get a good 3-4K done. That puts a good chunk into that target and allows me to hit that a little bit easier throughout the day. So the second benefit of getting out for this morning walk is morning light exposure. So this is so important. If you can get out within the first half hour of waking into daylight, exposing your eyes and your skin to daylight, that's going to not only make you feel more energetic throughout the morning, but it's also going to anchor your circadian rhythm or your body clock to that wake up time, and it's also going to have a beneficial impact on your sleep within those evening hours as well. So reason 3 for me for getting out on a morning walk is just from a mental health perspective, getting out in nature. I spend a lot of time indoors. I spend most of my day at my desk working. So just having this little bit of time in the morning where I'm outdoors, I'm in nature, it just makes me feel so much better and just starts my day in a positive way. And then reason 4 is just to give the Yohimbine a little bit of time to kick in. So as promised, let's go home and explain a little bit about that now. Right, let's do it then. Yohimbine. So to answer the most common questions, why am I taking it and how does it work? So in technical terms, Yohimbine is an alpha-2 adrenergic receptor blocker. So what the hell does that mean? So essentially within fat cells we find 2 types of receptors, alpha and beta receptors. So Yohimbine blocks the alpha receptor. Now how would that be beneficial? Well, these receptors respond to something known as catecholamines, which are essentially our stress hormones. And in particular here, we're talking about adrenaline and noradrenaline, hence the adrenergic part of the name within that receptor. So if these chemicals bind to the alpha receptor, that essentially stops that fat from being mobilized into the bloodstream and used as a fuel source. So by blocking these alpha receptors, we're then leaving more of these chemicals left over to bind to the beta receptor. And these beta receptors will help trigger the release of body fat into the bloodstream. So what this means is, by taking Yohimbine fasted in the morning, we may see a small but beneficial impact in terms of our ability to utilize body fat as fuel. The most important thing to note here though is that A, it will only make a 1% difference, it's not some magic pill. 2, it does not replace all of those foundational principles that will allow that body composition change in the first place. Ultimately, being within an energy deficit for a prolonged period of time, created by consistency in terms of your training, in terms of your step targets and cardio targets, as well as your nutritional consistency and adherence. So by no means am I recommending this to anyone. This is purely educational, and I just wanted to go through why I have chosen to personally use it within my own journey. Right, so now that's cleared up, it's time to jump on the bike and do my cardio. All right, cardio time. We have 30 minutes every single morning at the moment. I've luckily got a spin bike from home, so I can literally just get up, go on a walk, come back, and then just do it at home here. My little routine, I will turn the TV, pop Netflix on, sit here, 30 minutes, spin away. We're sitting at a heart rate of about 120, 130 beats per minute. We're going to be using the Polar heart rate monitor. I'll show you that in a second, just to track my heart rate throughout. So yeah, let's get into it. So if you're doing any form of cardio, I would highly recommend one of these. It's a Polar H10 heart rate monitor. You can get it from Amazon. It basically just straps around your waist, comes up onto the chest. That then links to an app on your phone, and you can track that live throughout. So I've found it to be a lot more accurate than like a Fitbit that I've used in the past, things like that. So if you want a kind of accurate way of tracking your heart rate, this is probably your best bet.
This year is about pursuing something.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know.
So the way I'm splitting this 30 minutes up at the moment is I'll do 5 minutes seated, then 5 minutes standing, and just rotate between the two for 30 minutes. I find that it just makes it a little bit less boring. Just changes the challenge a little bit as well, in terms of just taking a little bit of pressure off my quads as I do this on that standing version. And I do find if I just push it for 30 minutes, my quads do get fucking pumped and tired towards the end. So I'm trying to minimise that as much as possible, because also we're doing this every single day as well. So I just want to keep my legs as fresh as possible. We have a lower session today as well. So we've got a big leg session coming up later. I'm getting Eddie in to film. We're going to be doing a montage, which will be coming up in a second.
Class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor.
Cardio done, 30 minutes. Ticked off. I was saying something the other day, I'm actually really enjoying it in the mornings. I never thought I'd say that. But when we put cardio in every single day, at first it was just 4 or 5 days a week, which is fine. But when it went up to every day, I was like, oh, that's a lot. But it's actually such a nice way to start your day. Like, get up, go on a walk. It's amazing weather at the moment as well, which makes it a lot easier. It's part of the reason why I put the photo shoot in June, so I could diet through this kind of spring-summer period, because I find it so much easier when it is light and the mornings are earlier, the evenings are earlier, especially when it comes to getting steps in as well, which are 15k at the moment. But I just find, yeah, I feel energetic afterwards, I feel good, probably partly down to the Yohimbine as well. But yeah, we are now going to crack on with work. Let me go put some clothes on, and then I'll come back. and also pre-workout. It is about 1 o'clock now. We're about to head into the gym at 3 o'clock to train legs. I like to have my pre-workout at least kind of a couple of hours pre-training. About 2 hours is the sweet spot for me. But here we have just a chicken and rice meal, nice and boring, but the chicken is flavoured with some paprika, garlic, and just kind of mixed herbs. Then we've got some basmati rice, some mixed veggies, barbecue sauce on top, a little bit of rapeseed oil on there as well, just to get a little bit of fat in there. See. Bright as hell, hope you can see me. That is morning routine done. I hope you enjoyed that and it gave you a good insight into kind of how I'm running things within this diet within that period of the day. We are now going to jump in to a lower session, so I'll see you in there.
Going ghosts in the phantom. Try to hit your line, but no answer. I should hold you for ransom. I should hold you for ransom.
The GPS signal has been lost.
I never let none of you close to me. I'm in the cut like I'm supposed to be. The ones that betrayed me had love for me, or so they told me. They're making it hard, taking it back to the old me. Don't play with the Reaper, you can pay for what you sold me. Bad man, all you fears to watch his movies. Just don't cross the line, cause things get moody. Share my loot, my time, I find out men them use me. Man put money on my head, I feel like Uzi. It happens to be, if it happens to me, then the tragedy feels much worse. And I passionately believe that these reasons will one day be my hearse. I casually see I'm a casualty, and I promise I feel like I'm cursed. Whoa. Don't let them see I was bringing you down, you gotta act like it don't hurt. Yeah. It's so hard not to act reckless. So young, but I'm feeling restless, yeah. It's so hard not to act reckless, but I'm young and I'm feeling restless, yeah. Coming to worse and it's coming back round for you.
Going ghosts in the phantom. Try to hit your line, but no answer. I should hold you for ransom. I should hold you for ransom. Going ghosts in the phantom. Try to hit your line, but no answer. I should hold you for ransom. I should hold you for ransom.
I've been riding by myself, got me feeling like a ghost. I ain't never need your help, I just feel you do the most. Losing friends, gaining enemies, why they wasting all my energy? Why they gotta act so fake on me, and all they talk about is loyalty? I ain't got time for it, cause this is where I draw the line. You ain't know if finding peace, still on the seat there's a piece. Out of sight, out of mind, I'ma take what's mine.
Legs done. Sick session. Hope you enjoyed the edit and I hope you enjoyed this episode in general. It's obviously the first time that I've done any sort of vlogging, so yeah, I've got a bit of getting used to. My morning took about 3 hours more than it usually does, but yeah, it was good fun. We're going to bring a lot more of this style of content as well, kind of behind the scenes as we said. Now I've got my own camera, I can kind of film a few bits outside of the gym. And next one, we are going to do some sort of full day of eating, potentially. We might switch it up a little bit, but yeah, we've got that to look forward to. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.